All right, let's be real. I know not all of us are out here trying to drop a small fortune on an electric scooter, especially if we're on a budget. We just want something fun, reliable, and just cheap enough to justify the purchase. So I've been back on Amazon searching for the cheapest scooters I could find with the best reviews, and this is what I found. It's called the Vulpam Sp3. Now, it's not a company that I've ever heard of, but it has 4.3 stars out of 5. 856 reviews with over 3,000 bought in the past month. So people seem to really like this scooter. Let me see what some of the specs are. It comes with a 350 watt motor, 19 mile an hour top speed, and a claimed range of 12 miles. It also looks like it comes with a smart app and a 12-month or 180-day part warranty. So it's nice knowing you have that in case you need it. All for a price of $179. I'm curious to see what some of the reviews are, so let's take a look. Here's a 5-star review from Winnie. Love this scooter. The package comes with a manual, the scooter, hopefully the scooter is in your package, several screws and Allen keys. It's easy to install, just 3 steps, can be done in 15 minutes. Now I think I'll have to set a timer, see if we can get it set up in 15 minutes. Let's get some other ones. Stargazer, 5 stars. Fun to use. The build quality feels solid and durable. It's also relatively lightweight, making it easy to transport and store. And I didn't need to spend much time reading the manual to get started. All right, one more good review before we go to the bad ones. Matt gives it 5 stars and says, best bang for your buck, don't buy a kid's scooter, buy this and set a max speed. I believe he's talking about the Smart app, how you can set the top speed depending on the rider's experience or age. All right, let's check out some of the 1-star reviews. NWSH left 1 star and says, disappointing performance and poor build quality. The 12-mile range is exaggerated. I barely get 7 before the battery dies, even on flat terrain. Well, good thing that's one of the things we'll be testing, and all I have is flat terrain, so we'll see how close we can get to that 12 miles. And we'll read one more bad review. This person gave it a 1-star review and it says hazardous, unstable product sent out. You have to have the handlebars turned at a 45-degree angle to get the wheel to go straight. If you have to turn your handlebars to go straight, please don't ride it, regardless of what scooter you're riding. Just adjust them and be safe. I think I've read enough reviews and I think this is gonna be a solid choice. The only thing left to do now is to buy it, and I'll see you when it gets here. And after a couple days, it's finally here. The box doesn't have any damage and nothing seems too loose inside, so I think it was packaged well. But there's only one way to find out. I'm excited. Let's get this thing open and check it out. This is how the scooter comes directly out of the box, protected with a bunch of foam, so it was packaged well. Also comes with this small package that sounds like it has some tools in it. So we'll go ahead and open this before we get the scooter assembled. It has your charger, which should take your scooter about 4 to 5 hours to charge. You have the instructions if you need it. It also has a QR code. You can scan that. And finally, it has some Allen keys and some screws to help assemble the scooter. And that's all that comes in the package, which is all you should need to set the scooter up. I do have my little timer, so let's go ahead and get the scooter assembled. The first thing to do is take off all this protective foam, which is probably the most time-consuming part about the setup. Make sure to support the handlebars when taking off the last inner piece of the foam to ensure the wires don't get pulled or have too much tension on them. Next, I tuck the wires into the stem and then the handlebars slide right on. After that, there are 4 screws you'll need to install, 2 in the front and 2 in the rear, both tightened down with the supplied Allen keys. Finally, you can lift up the stem and lock it into place by pushing the locking mechanism forward and then clamping it back when it's finally set in place. And that's it, a super easy setup in just over 5 minutes. With it unboxed and fully assembled, the only thing left now to do is to fully charge it, and then we can finally put this Vulpam scooter to the test. Welcome aboard the Sp3. Got the scooter charged to 100%, which is important because we are doing a range test today. The manufacturer claims a range of 12 miles. The comment says they couldn't even get 7, so we'll see how true that is. I have the Smart app connected so I can see how far we go and how fast. And we'll talk more on the app later. But let's go ahead and start this ride and get going. And when manufacturers give us range claims, they don't necessarily give us the circumstances it's under. I'm 180 pounds, maybe a little more with the camera gear and all this water that I have on me, because it is hot. Just know I love you guys. All the terrain around here is flat, so we don't have to worry about any hills. And I will be switching between the different modes, trying them out. Right now I'm just cruising in D mode, which is about 11 miles an hour. I'm just switched over into sport. Oh yeah, this is better. So the top speed in sport mode is 19 miles an hour. And that beep you just heard is the cruise control. So if you hold the throttle down for 5 seconds in the same position, it'll hold you at that position, which is nice for longer rides. This is pretty quick for a budget scooter. So let's go back over some of the specs of the scooter. It has a 350-watt motor, 19-mile-an-hour top speed, and as I said before, a claimed range of 12 miles that we're testing. It can also support riders up to 264 pounds, which is some big claims from a scooter that only costs $179. The scooter also comes with dual drum brakes, which stop the scooter fine from higher speeds. Disc brakes would have been nice, but that would have been a price increase, and I think it's just fine for this scooter. This scooter is also equipped with 8.5-inch solid honeycomb style wheels that are actually pretty grippy. It is a softer compound, so it does give you confidence in the corners. And it helps absorb some of the bumps because the scooter does not have suspension. It is a solid mounted scooter, and honestly I thought the ride was going to be a little bit more rough than this, but it's actually not bad. The last budget Amazon scooter I reviewed didn't have suspension either, but had quite a bit of vibration come up through the handlebars, which would get annoying on longer rides. So I was almost expecting the same thing out of this scooter, but this one absorbs the bumps a lot better. I know the solid wheels don't ride as good as air-filled tires, but solid tires are my choice if I have the option, just because you don't have to worry about flats. And this deck is nice. It has plenty of room for my feet. The deck is covered with this rubber material. That is pretty grippy. My feet haven't slipped at all. And the scooter doesn't come with a cup holder or phone mount. There's just universal ones that I switch from scooter to scooter. They are really convenient, Velcro. I'll leave a link in the description for you if you guys are curious about it. Anyways, let's keep going. Also, thank you so much to everyone who's been liking and subscribing to videos. I really appreciate everyone's support. I really try to put out the best videos I can for you guys. This scooter is foldable, which is a must for me because I usually travel with my scooters. And a lot of the time I end up taking my lighter, more compact scooters just because it's easy to travel with. You can throw it in the trunk of a car, easy to carry upstairs, or even go on a train with. I can see it also being great for riding around campus, even just cruising your neighborhood. But we'll see how far the range you can actually get before you start running errands. Let's actually pull over and take a look and see where we're at. So far we have gone 5 miles and we're at 74% battery. I think that's pretty good. That's actually more charge than I thought we'd have. All right, let's keep going. See if we can actually get that 12. And if you do end up getting caught riding in the dark, you don't have to worry because it does have a headlight and a tail light. And every time you hit the brakes, the tail light flashes. So people behind you can see you fine. Even out in this bright sun, I can easily read this LCD display. And on that display, it'll show your mile per hour, your drive mode, and how much battery you have. It'll even show you if your lights are on and off. And if you want your lights on, you just press the power button once. You'll hear a beep, it'll turn on. And if you want them off, just press it once more again. You'll see the light go away and that means your lights are off. And when you want to switch between the driving modes, again, you just double tap the power button. It'll beep twice, and now I'm in sport mode. Now if you want to go to the other mode, you just double click again. And now I'm in eco mode, which is limited to 8 miles an hour. So if you have a kid or someone who's not experienced with scooters, you can go ahead and put in eco mode, hand it right over, and there will be no surprises. It also accelerates slower than the other modes. The regular driving mode, which has a top speed of 11 miles an hour, is perfect for twisty sidewalks or cities. But if you had the room and the space, I definitely recommend sport mode. I know I said it before, but I really thought there was going to be a lot more vibrations coming up through the handlebars and a lot more rougher ride. Don't get me wrong, there is still some vibration and bumps, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was on the other scooter. This is actually bearable and I can easily ride longer distances. What I love about those lightweight, smaller scooters is how nimble they are. They're just fun to carve and take around corners. You can have just as much fun on a budget scooter as you can the more expensive ones. And I always find that to be the case. I'll probably use more battery life being in sport mode, but I'm doing this test based off how I normally ride. Surprisingly, the SP03 does come with the smart app. It's crazy to think that scooters under $200 now have smart apps. And in the app, you can control the lights, the cruise control, switch between riding modes. You can even see the percentage of the battery. You can also set the top speed and the speed of the cruise control if you're giving someone the scooter who's less experienced. The app is great and works well, but there is one thing that I don't like about it, and that it's not a single scooter app made specifically for this. When you first download it, it'll show you like a bunch of home appliances to hook up to lights and everything. And you have to scroll down to the outdoor section, and then that's where you can find the scooter. I just think it would be easier to use if it was scooter specific only, as opposed to a more general app that uses multiple functions. But I assume that's how they keep the cost down and how they're able to give this scooter an app. Either way, once you connect it, it'll always pop up with the scooter first. Stop and get some more water. We're at 8.9 miles with 58% battery left. I think we're gonna go way further. And I've been going in between regular drive mode and sport mode. I mean, I have been riding for a long time. I don't know, let's keep going and see where we end up. That's really surprising because most of the scooter tests I do, they barely just make what they claimed. If you like these range test videos, then you'll love the video above where I try to take a scooter 50 miles on a single charge. All right, we're sitting at 33% and I can tell the scooter is a little slower to get up to top speed now. We've gone 11.7 miles. That's insane. We're definitely gonna make it past 12. Again, yours might vary based on weight, terrain, and even temperature, which I don't think I mentioned before, but today it's 96 degrees. Man, this in corner is really good. These honeycomb tires have a lot of grip on them. We did it, we passed 12 miles. We're at 12.7 miles at 26% battery. Honestly, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna see how far we can get. Maybe we'll get to 15. I am using the GPS directly out of the app, and I've definitely been on the scooter way over an hour. You can definitely tell the scooter's down on power. When coming out of the corner and getting back onto the throttle, it takes just a little bit longer to reach that top speed. We are down to the last couple percent, and I can really tell because I'm in sport mode, full throttle, and I feel the power cutting in and out. We are down to 3% and we just hit 17 miles. But this is me full throttle in sport. It is struggling. I don't think we're gonna make it much further. But to even make it 17 miles is insane. I didn't think we'd get close to that. I am going by what the GPS says off the app, but I have covered a good amount of distance, and I've been out here for a couple hours riding the scooter around, which is a path I've traveled before, and I definitely am over 12 miles. Oh, I think that's it. Losing all the power, and it just died. How far did we make it? 17.5 miles. It says we went 17.5 miles. I really did not think we would go 17.5 miles, but I am actually shocked we went that far. The little route that I had planned was about 12 miles. We actually ended up passing, so we did go over 12 miles. I just don't know exactly how much and how accurate that GPS is. It's based off the GPS that's in the app, but I've been out here for a couple hours riding, but I am actually impressed with this $180 scooter. Wow, 17.5 miles. Sorry to interrupt the video, I just had a hard time believing the scooter actually went over 17 miles. I want to make sure the information that I put out is accurate because I don't want you wasting your money on false claims. So I did the test again, and I did it with the app that I know is more accurate. And don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch the range test again, so here are the results. And I got to a distance just a little over 12.5 miles. And I did this second test strictly in sport mode, full throttle the whole time. So the scooter does make its range claim. So it means it could probably go a little more than that in the eco and drive mode. And for the results on the scooter app itself, it says I went 15.6 miles. So the app that comes with the scooter is off a little bit, but that's probably because it's not a scooter specific app. It controls a bunch of different things, which is why I think it's not that accurate. But at least now we know it will go the 12-mile range, so I'm not too sure about that 17. But besides the inaccurate GPS in the app, the rest of the app works great. For $180, I think the scooter is a great buy. The scooter reached its top speed at 19 miles an hour, reached its max range, and provided a pretty smooth riding experience despite not having any suspension. This is one of the better budget scooters that I found on Amazon. And if you enjoyed this cheap Amazon scooter video, or want to see more reviews, check these out right here.